What's good? What's good? What's good, family? What's good? What's good? How everybody doing? How everybody doing? What's good, family? Let me get this popping right quick. I know I'm late, you hear me? Man, let me get the trappers in here right quick, you hear me? Let me get the trappers in here. What's good, family? How everybody doing? How everybody doing? How everybody doing? How everybody doing? I'm here. I was a little late, man. My daughter and tutor, you know what I'm saying? So I had to make sure she's situated while she doing her tutor. You know how that be. If you're a parent, you know how that be, you hear me? As soon as they see you sneak off, they look, ready to they ready to do whatever they want to do, you hear me? So I had to get that situation straight, man. You know, I ain't moving till my little one good, you hear me? So I just appreciate y'all for tapping in. I got the trappers with me. What's good, trappers? I see y'all, you hear me? What's good, family? It's just good to see you. Thank you, family. So listen. We here. I'm in the building. Y'all in the building, right? Y'all could have been anywhere, right? But y'all chose to be here. And so for that, man, I am most definitely appreciative for that, right? I was sick thinking I missed it. Nah. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. So do me a favor, man. Y'all already know, man. Y'all gotta send this out. Y'all gotta send this to some people. You hear me? We gotta get this thing up. Y'all already know we looking for 1,000 people to come through. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. It's Trappin' Tuesdays. Tell your friends, tell your family. You know, they need to be here. You know what I'm saying? They need to tap in because we gonna get busy tonight. I missed last week. Last week was amazing, man. I had my family in town. Got my moms in, got my daughter in, man. Y'all, just for y'all who know, that just mean a lot to me, man. So I definitely appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Damn, Nolan, what's good, family, man? I just appreciate you for tapping in with the super chat already. Nolan said I'm part of Trappers Anonymous. What do the meetups happen? So we in the group right now. So after Nolan, I'm glad you said that, King. So after this, the group is live as well. I'm going live in the group as well at the same time. Shout out to the Trappers. We got 83 people in right now. We just tapping in. After this, actually, I got somebody coming into group tonight who gonna do a special. Walaikum salam, family. Who gonna do a special breakdown for the group tonight on something real dope. So make sure you tap into the group. We live in the Facebook group right now. Oh man, it says Jamaica left the beach. Shout out to the Trappers. Shout out to the Trappers, man. So, what's good, family? So I hope everybody had a dope 4th of July weekend, right? Not celebrating not other stuff, but just celebrating being with family, man. For everybody who don't know, that's my birthday, 4th of July. So for me, man, it was just about being with family, which was why I didn't do Trappin' Tuesdays last week. Again, I had my mom's in town. I had my daughter with me, so we had fun, man. So listen. With no further ado, man, let's get the trapping, right? Let's get the trapping. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. That's right, man. Somebody said over 1,500 viewers today. Let's do it. Somebody said, I bought your course this weekend for sure. For sure. My first time on live YouTube, for sure. Uptime, we trapping. You hear me? You already know, family. So, Jesse Shaw, shout out for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate that, family. You already know how I get down, man. So first and foremost, man, let's get into something. Let's say this. I'm going to say this right quick. Billy Fletcher, salute, family. Matthew Chim said, man, that calls the truth for sure, man. I appreciate that, you hear me? We got some new stuff coming too, man. Definitely got some new stuff coming on the way, man, for real. Somebody said that Sleepers for Suckers interview was lit. For sure, man. I appreciate all the support and everywhere. What I do want to say is, so we're going to start trapping, man. So, first and foremost, let me get this out the way. 7 more, you hear me? For sure, family. I see you. Let me get this out the way. T. Frederick, my guy, man. My brother, man, from the joint. Met each other when we was 17, man. And we friends, we brothers. Not even say friends, I apologize. We've been brothers since. He been supporting me since the beginning. Even come to my little girl birthday party. Salute you, bro. I just want you to know, I'm gonna let the world know, bro. I love you. Real talk. We've been there. We've been through it together, man. I'm proud of who you are. Proud of what you've become. I love you, family. So let's start by saying this, man. Listen, trapper attire is required. Y'all know this. Trapper attire, if you don't know, that's pens and pads, right? Next, we're going to put this out there. I am not your financial advisor. I am not a fiduciary. Anybody that's doing any type of investing needs to first understand their money situation, and they need to understand the risk involved, because nothing is guaranteed. Anything and everything that I say is only my opinion. This is only education and entertainment purposes only. Again, I am not a financial advisor, right? So don't take none of what I say as something that you should be doing. I just take knowledge and information and I break it down into a language that's understandable to me. And hopefully when I put it out there, the world finds some value in it, right? If you find value in it, then you still have to make the decision that's right for you and not the decision that's right for me. You feel me? So with that being said, everybody let me know if we trapping. If you rocking with me in the building, if you rocking, let me hear me say we trapping. Let me hear you say we trapping. Somebody said they signed up for the Trap Facebook but haven't gotten in yet. Make sure you email my team your Facebook name and email when you sign up, family. So let's talk about a few things first, right? Let's talk about a few things first, and I want to say this, and I want to say this to my trappers too. I'm going to talk to y'all too while I'm saying this, and I want y'all to understand this for sure. Oh, I see the retrap is going through the roof. Do me a favor while you saying retrap and go ahead on and send this to somebody, right? Send it to your Facebook, send it to your Instagram, text it out to somebody, get them likes up. I see we have 160 likes. Get the likes up, you hear me? Let's get more people in here. Let's get 1,000 to 1,500 people in here ASAP. Let's do that, right? So I want to say something to you all. A lot of people ask me, what type of investor am I, right? So for me personally, right? I deal with fundamentals more than anything, right? I'm more of a fundamentalist. Some people like to say value investing. I don't like to box myself in and label myself, right? Because I just feel how I feel about the market. I do what I do. I don't stick to nobody's rules. Thank you, family. I appreciate that. FSLY Fastly. I already know what you're talking about. LaShonda Hall, appreciate you too, family, for sure. And the reason why I deal with fundamentals, because fundamentals help you recognize when the stock price is not matching the value of the business, right? And so that's what fundamental analysis is mostly all about. It's about finding a value in something. Right? It's about looking at the fundamentals, right? It's about understanding how much money is coming in and going out of a business, right? It's not about riding a trend. It's not because this stock is hot. It's not because the news and the TV and the newspapers and social media has pushed the value of a stock, because that can't happen, right? We want the price to be justified by the fundamentals and the value of the business. If everybody with me right now said we trapping, I need y'all to understand that, because every approach that I make when it comes to investing comes from this approach first and foremost, right? First and foremost, what I'm dealing with is fundamental analysis and value. I want you to understand that, right? Because what happens is people will see stocks running high and they start chasing 52-week highs. That's not something we doing over here. You feel me? I feel you, bro. I want to be all around investor. I'm 37 for sure. Trappers, do y'all feel me? Do y'all feel me? Right? So we not chasing stock prices. I'm seeing stocks at 52-week highs. Stocks keep on creating new highs, and we chasing them stocks. One of the things we gonna do, I'm gonna be real with you right now. If a stock chasing this 52-week high, if a stock bumping this 52-week high, if we got it on our watch list, it's just time for us to look at it. It's not time for us to jump in there. I'm gonna be real with you. We waiting for pullbacks and sell-offs. You feel me? We loading the clips. Somebody say explain fiduciary. It's somebody who invests for you that has your interest in mind, right? Not the business, not trying to sell you a product. Somebody who invests or deals with your money that has your best interest. They've made a swear. They've took an oath to say that I have my client's best interest in line instead of trying to sell you a product. I don't want to get too deep into that, but you can easily look that up and find it. It's not hard. It's basically what I just told you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's what a fiduciary is, right? And without me getting all into that, me and my team, me and my trappers, we talked about that. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that. Like, and I want to get these things out there first before I get into what we talking about, because a lot of the things I'm gonna talk to y'all always come from a fundamental approach. You know what I'm saying? It always comes from a fundamental approach. Everything I talk about, never a technical approach, right? Always fundamentals, because yes, it is live, because technicals mostly tell us about how the market is feeling about a business. How that's what averages do as well, right? When we're looking at 52 week in moving averages, and we looking at 200-day moving averages and 50-day moving averages, is most so telling us what the market has been paying for something during a certain period of time. I want y'all to understand that that has nothing to do with value. You feel me? Understand that. 50-day moving averages, 200-day moving averages have nothing to do with value. Moving averages only tell you what the market has been paying for a stock up in a certain time span. So I don't want nobody on here to go say, hey, this stock is in the 50-day moving average, it must be on sale. That's a lie. That's a lie. We ain't dealing with that, right? We finding value first. Stock prices last. Do I make myself clear? And I'm not saying this to be like, I'm your daddy or nothing, but I'm saying this because if we gonna invest, my thing is not about trying to convince you to do anything. My goal and my objective is to educate us how to invest the right way. You feel me? How to invest the right way, the correct way. It's not about me trying to act like I know it all. If I'm going to teach you, if I'm going to educate, if I'm going to be here saying I'm a leader, I'm an educator, then I'm going to show you all the correct way. That's what I do in my Trappers Anonymous group, heavy. It's all about the correct way. How you start in the beginning is how you, them same habits you pick up along the way. Oh, let me check the 52. Let me check the 50-day moving average. Let me check the 200-day moving average. Oh, is it? Oh, I'm jumping in. No, that don't mean nothing, because we know in the market right now, people are willing to pay more for a stock than what it's worth. It happens. People are willing to pay more for a stock than what it's worth. I'm not that guy. And I don't teach that. You feel me? So I just want everybody to understand that, and I want everybody to be with me on that, right? Also, when it comes to investing, the way that I invest and the way that I educate my trappers and everybody else how to invest is this. We need to identify, is a company over leveraged or not, right? Have they taken on too much debt to spread and expand the business? We need to know when a company's debt matures. So understanding when a company's debt matures is when a company took on a debt. When is the date that the debt has to be matured? Somebody asked, look, Trapper, somebody on here asked me about Livongo, LVGO. We talked about that, what, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? I put y'all on that? We got on that? They late to the party, you hear me? You hear me? But we need to understand that. And this ain't nothing crazy. I just talk to my trappers about this all the time, right? We not chasing nothing. We need to understand when a company's debt matures, right? Is the company over leveraged? How much debt? 2 months ago, somebody said you told us about that 2 months ago. You already know. You know what I'm saying? And if it is over leveraged, we need to know, I'm going to talk about that tonight. We do also need to know this. Will they be able, when the debt matures, will they be able to pay the debt back? Do they have to refinance the debt, or do they have to come up with a whole new loan, right, at a lower rate? We need to understand these things for sure before we even talk about stock price, right? We need to have somebody say they paying a drop price. You feel what I'm saying? Yep, somebody said, yeah, we talked about that when it was at 60, for sure. So we definitely, I just want to get these things out there and make this understood because that's what I'm all about, right? I'm not about trying to look like the smartest guy in the room. I'm about giving us value. Nothing but value on here, right? So let's get into action, man. So everybody with me right now, man, say we trapping. Let me know we trapping, right? We trapping. For sure. Everybody with me so far, let's say we trapping. Mm-hmm. I'm on water, y'all. Let me see y'all like that. Let's get it up. We had 900 people. Let's get it up to 1,000 people before the 20-minute mark, y'all. For sure. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. Trappers, I see y'all. So, good. Everybody in, I like that. We tapped in. So, let's first talk about what's happening today. What's going on in the market? We're going to tap in now. We're going to talk about what's going on in the market. Bro, where you was at, I almost went to sleep. Wake up, Papa. All right, so we're going to talk about, so the day the market had a slight sell-off today, right? The market had a slight sell-off today, right? With the Dow Jones finishing 1.5% down, with the NASDAQ finishing down 0.86%, and with the S&P 500 finishing 1.08%. Trappers, y'all with me? For sure. Thank you for everything. William Gray, salute, family, for the super chat. Appreciate that, right? So, some of the biggest movers today in a game was they had a merger today. And so this was big, this was dope. Travis, we're gonna talk about this because I talked to us about solar stocks before, about growth. We looking for, so one of the things we look for too, in this market that we in right now, two of the things we need to be looking for sure is strong fundamentals, right? Strong financials and accelerated growth. We need to see companies right now that's growing. I'm gonna be real with y'all, right? So people gonna get mad at me right now, right? Your portfolio, if you new into this game, right? If you new to this game, your portfolio should not be heavy with OG stocks. You should not be heavy in old stocks. You shouldn't be heavy there, right? Because there's a ton of value in growth stocks. There's a ton of value in just good players. That's gangsters, right? So I y'all know I like to call them OGs, gangsters, and young bucks. So you should have exposure to some OG stocks, which is your Johnson & Johnson, things like that. But you should be more centered toward gangsters, which is who've been in the game for a little while but have growth, and young bucks, because that's what we're looking at right now. We are now entering with the new norm. And the new norm is going to present us with a lot of situations. We should not be flirting with businesses. We should not be looking at businesses that's flirting with bankruptcy. Prime example, today we just found out that AMC was already flirting with bankruptcy, but they just got a lifeline, right? They got a lifeline, just not from a business, right? Shout out to Mr. Leisure. What's good, appreciate that. They got a lifeline today, right? So now what happens is, now let me show you how this works. This is how the market, when I say we got to play with big boys, we playing with the big boys, right? So what happens is this. The stock was on verge of going bankrupt. I told us a while back, we should not be dealing with companies that's flirting with bankruptcy. Hertz was one of them, right? GNC is another one, right? We should not be flirting with JC Penney's, lot of retailers. We shouldn't be flirting with these businesses, right? We shouldn't be flirting with these businesses at all. So AMC got a lifeline. True enough. Now the stock went up about 7% after hours. Why? So now what happens is what's called a short squeeze happening. This is a play, right? And I want y'all to understand there's a lot of things too. I'm going to say, I want y'all to write them down so when y'all hear the terminology, y'all know what it is. Right? So when you hear the terminology, you know what it is. Sure, short squeeze is essentially like this. So first you got to short the stock. So shorting the stock is saying, yo, Trap, can I borrow some of your stock at this price and I'm going to pay you back later, right? Because now what's going to happen is somebody say now it's at 11%. This is a short squeeze happening, 100%. So somebody going to borrow my stock and be like, Trap, I'm going to pay you back for them stocks later, right? I'm going to pay you back for that later, right? Now the thing is this. They're going to then get the stock at a lower price, give me back mine, and take the difference. This is a short squeeze. So what's happening now is when the stock goes up, right? Because when you short the stock, you really want it to go down. So you get it at a cheaper price and sell a difference. Y'all with me right now? But what a short squeeze is, when the stock goes up, you are forcing now the short sellers to now get out of the stock. Because they have to get out of the stock, you short squeezing them, you get the profit from it. Now what happens is somebody gonna get left holding the bag. Holding the bag means you're gonna wind up with a dead stock. You don't want to have to pay me top dollar for a dead stock. You with me right now? That's why I'm be telling y'all this game is heavy. Same thing happens with Hertz. Right? Shout out to everybody, man. We hit 1,000, man. We hit 1,000. We hit 1,000 people in here for sure. Right? So we don't never want to get caught in them plays. And the reason why we don't get caught in them plays, because people mostly short squeeze bad stocks. I'm gonna be real with you. People mostly short squeeze bad stocks. You feel me? Because they want you to get caught. See, I'm telling y'all, we playing a game. This is a game, but there's different levels to the game. These people have been playing the game forever. We can't chase running stock prices because of situations like this. You feel me? This is why we don't chase short stocks. This is why we don't chase stock prices. You feel me? So another thing we're gonna talk about today, gold. Right? Gold. Oh, I gotta talk about the merger. So the merger was between Sunrun and Vent Solar. Right? Ticker symbol VSLR. I think after the merger, VSLR was up 38.19%. And Sunrun, which is RUN, they're up about 22.63%. Was a merger, right, between two solar businesses. I'll break it down again in the group. Don't worry about it. I'll break it down again in the group. Right, so I told Trappers about solar energy a while back. We talked about this. One of the companies we talked about, I think, is up like 18% since we talked about it. So definitely be on that. So so those two stocks right now are like bumping it, right? Remember in the first Trappin Tuesdays, one of the things I told y'all about the first episode of Trappin Tuesdays, I said, in this environment, one of the things I don't have no opinion on wild card. I've seen it come up like 7 times. I don't have no opinion on it, family. I don't have no opinion on it. Let me say it before I say this, Mr. Leisure. Let me say this before I say that. I said in this thing, when this first started, I said, we are in a climate. And I'm not trying to say like I be predicting the future, but when you start understanding the market, you start understanding how this thing move around. I said, listen, we need to be looking for, and we're going to see a lot of mergers, acquisitions, and partnerships. Right? I don't come on here and tell nobody nothing is a buy, because that ain't for me to do. So it's on you. If you bought it, you bought it. My thing is not telling nobody it's a buy. Right? So one of the things I told us was this: mergers and acquisitions and bankruptcies is going to be a lot, and partnerships. Yes, VSLR up 38%. Right? So what we need to do is understand that, because we're going to see a lot of that. Right? We're going to see a lot of that. So again, right now we see this. We see gold is up. Gold ended the day up 1%. Right? Gold ended the day up at 1%, top at $1,800. Now let's think about this, right? We always talk about gold. I'm a person who owns a few ounces of gold, physical gold. Right? I don't own the gold ETFs. right? Or the precious metal ETFs. But I do own physical gold. I will talk about Postmates and Uber later. Give me a second, right? What we need to understand about gold is gold is a wealth insurance, right? Gold is a wealth insurance, right? So what happens is when you buy gold with low interest. All right, so let me say this. Let me put that back in perspective. Let's put this back in perspective. Somebody say Trap got a mind like an elephant. Gold is 17 ounces. Yeah, today it was up. It went down as the market sold off. Around 1 o'clock, it was at $1,800. So that's okay. Like, it's okay, family. It's all right. The market moves all day, every day. Gold never stops, right? The market did have a sell-off today. About 12, 1 o'clock, it was at $1,800. So we all right. So what happens is the market predicates off this whole financial sector of the world operates off of interest rates. That dictates a lot for us. That's why I broke down a 10-year note to us, right? I broke down a 10-year note to us a while back. It's the most important of all because the 10-year note sets the tone for what mortgage rates, loan rates, all that is. But with interest rates now at zero, right? Investors now they can't go to bonds like they want to. So now precious metal have to be the secure place. The thing about precious metals is this. As the dollar drops, the gold becomes worth more. Bay Area High Boy, salute family, appreciate that. On overstock, he asked me about overstock. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not in the fan of none of that. None of that retail space, gold, overstock, Wayfair. Not saying they're not a good run, but it's not where I'm at, family. Me personally, and I don't try to act like I'm all over. I'm not all over. I don't like that industry as a whole. I don't chase nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there. So what happens is this. As the dollar goes down, right? So as the value of the dollar goes down, the gold goes up, right? Too much cash in the economy, right, causes gold to go up because it causes inflation. Too much cash means prices have to go up, right? Zero interest rate means gold has to go up. Now, when a dollar goes up, the price of gold stays still or goes down because at this point, you don't need the gold no more. If the dollar lost its value today or tomorrow, those who have gold still have wealth. Those who have gold, those who have assets have wealth. The difference between gold is it's not an income producing asset, right? It's more of a wealth insurance. That's why it's the saying go, the man or woman who has the gold is the man or woman who makes the rule, right? At one time, they can only print money for how much gold they had. The reason why they took that route, the Brent Woods agreement, right? The reason they took it out was because greed comes into place. Yo, if I can only print as much money as I have gold, then I need to get rid of the gold. I need to stop the money from being backed by the gold so I can print all the money I want. If I can print all the money I want, then I give me and my people the leverage. I'm just being real, telling y'all how the game go. Right, so you can do one or two things. You can collect gold or you can collect income producing assets and equity building assets. We want to do both. We want to have a few ounces of gold, maybe have a kilo of gold, have some silver, and then have us some assets. Right, so we want to talk about that. Right, I wanted y'all to know that. Right? You feel what I'm saying? So I just want us to understand the different components that come to this. Yep, the gold standard. The different components that come into this game. Right? So, two stocks also I want to talk about today is Novax, something I told y'all about a month and a half ago, and Regeneron. Both stocks now is killing it today. Novax, I think, is up like 32% just today because of the COVID bailout, right? Because of the COVID bailout, right? So they're coming up with this thing called like wart something, where they just giving companies money to create this vaccine. Yep, somebody said I bought Novavax back in January. That was one of the first stocks I talked about when we did Trappin Tuesdays, right? It was one of the ones that wasn't talked about on the TV like talking about it, right? You look warp. Any certified precious metal or gold dealer, right? Any certified precious metal or gold dealer, right? Travis, we talked about Novavax a while back, maybe like 6 weeks ago. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that Henry Mahomes said boring. That's cool, fam. Maybe this ain't for you. It's all right. You be all right. You be all right. You be all right, King. You feel me? you can find a lot of entertainment anywhere else. It's all good. So we talked about that, right? So now let's talk about something a lot of people been talking about, right? A lot of people been talking about. We saw this happen today. We saw that Uber acquired Postmates for $2.65 billion in all stocks. Oh, he meant boring stocks, for sure. Okay. Yeah. All right, for sure, King. All right. Thought you was saying I'm bored. I'm like, damn, family. I'm about to say, damn, family. I ain't that bad, huh? For sure. I appreciate you, family. My bad. I'm cool enough to say that was my bad, for sure. Yeah, we love boring stocks, man. We love boring stocks. So we talked about this, right? This $2.65 billion all stock purchase of Uber of Postmates. So let's talk about why this happened. Right? Let's talk about why this happened. So Uber tried to, first of all, it's all about Uber Eats. Right? It's all about Uber Eats. That's why they try to acquire Grubhub. For sure, families, tactical headlamp with strap. Salute for the super chat, family. Salute for the super chat. Yes, WCLD ETF is boring, for sure. So let's talk about what happened with that, right? Let's talk about what happened with that. So what happened was this. A few weeks ago, Uber was trying to get Grubhub. Grubhub is the number one food delivery service. Number one. They couldn't get it. So the next thing for them to do was they acquired Postmates. Now, Postmates is actually the number 4, but they have 2 of the bigger spots, Miami and LA. And with Uber Eats taking over Postmates, it now gives Uber that. Now, what they're not doing, they're still going to run everything through the Postmates app. They're still going to run everything that way, but it's now just so controlled by Uber. I want you all to understand 2 things, too, that happen in the stock market when you hear mergers and acquisitions. You can hear all cash, you can hear all stock, or you can have go between the 2. DoorDash they actually go back and forth between number 1 and 2. I actually have I had it wrote out which cities that DoorDash and Grubhub swapped out. They are number 1 and 2. DoorDash, I want to say, has New York. I think DoorDash has New York on lock. But don't make me lie to you. I had it wrote down and I forgot to get it. I forgot it, so don't make me lie to you because I don't want to ever do that to you. Hear me? Now, the thing about that play is it's a great play for Uber, even though because Uber Eats was up 53% last quarter. Right? Uber Eats was up 53% last quarter, but the business still lost $3 billion. Right now, we got to understand something. We got to understand something that all companies won't be profitable. Remember, Amazon wasn't profitable for 18 years. Right? So we got to understand we got to understand what's going on. We got to understand the play. Remember, we talked about in the beginning from a fundamental standpoint of view when we asking, what is the yes, ride sharing is killing them 100%. Zay is murdering them. But I think they'll figure it out some kind of way. I don't know. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Zay is killing them. Ride share is killing them. So what we do want to understand is this, though. when we want to understand, when can the business become profitable? Now, we don't want the company to fluff us. So when they tell us how they're going to become profitable, we need to see them taking transitions on becoming profitable. Y'all with me on that? Y'all get what I'm saying? All right, cool. Gold mining stocks. I'm not really into the gold physically. I mean, I'm into gold physically, not through stocks, but I think gold mining stocks are definitely you should be there if you're interested in the gold. It's just, you should invest where your interests are, not where the hype is. You know what I'm saying? So if you're interested in that, rock with it. I only invest in things I'm 100% interested in. And if I want to invest somewhere, I educate myself on that industry first. I'm all about education, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the last thing you can do is, what about TQQQ? That's actually not a stock. That's a leveraged ETF. Two different things. We talk about that in my course, Did Panic We Eat. That's not a stock. It's a leveraged ETF. Actually, it's a 2x leveraged ETF. So you need to understand what you're doing when you get that, because it's not a stock that you just invest in, right? You need to understand the difference between leveraged and inverse ETFs. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about Ariel EV? Yeah, I was actually looking at EV, electronic vehicles. I was actually on to that right now. So definitely let's talk about that. Let's get into that. So another thing too I want to talk about, man. Let me know we trapping right now, man. We trapping right now? Let me know. Y'all rocking with me or what? Let me know we trapping, y'all. For sure, Queen. How y'all feeling, trappers? What y'all doing? My trappers in the building. Shout out to the trappers, man. Right now we 255 people deep in the trappers. Yeah, that's not a stock. They know that's an inverse ETF. Oh, for the trappers, when I get back home, we did sell out of the shirts. Salute to y'all for that. When I get back home, I told y'all I'm gonna send them joints out here, man. All right. So the next thing we want to talk about is, I know everybody asking about it, all right? The Tesla and Nikola beef, right? But I actually think it's more of a Tesla Amazon beef than it is the Tesla and Nikola beef, simply because Amazon has now tapped into, space ride. And, Elon, he was like, man, Jeff Bezos a hater. I'm just eating some chocolate covered almonds, man. And I'm doing it like, I'm doing like trappers do. Y'all just put it in my pocket. The two solar stocks, VSLR and RUN. Someone said the EV market is like the POC market. I agree with you 100% on it. But my thing is this about the EV. And so for y'all don't know who EV is, it's the electric vehicle market. We not riding hype. Nah, man, these good, man. They not melting, man. Y'all tripping. So for me, what happens with the EV stocks, especially with Nikola, is the reason why. Now, I'm not saying that it is a bad stock or none of that. I'm just saying, for me, I need to see product. I need to see how the business is run. I need to know about the CEO. I need to know the product. Right? Appreciate that. Fish grease. Salute for the super chat, family. We need to see product. And the thing about that brand is we don't see no product there. We only basing the hype. This is what we basing the hype off of. Or it's the next Tesla. That's what we basing the hype off. There's no way we can invest in a business saying that's what we basing the investment off. That's why we started off saying we are investing. We said what we looking for first. We're looking at fundamentals. Right? When we looking at fundamentals. Why are we looking at fundamentals? Because it helps us understand the value of the business. Is the stock price ahead of the actual business? right? And in this case, it is. Why? Because there is no business there. There isn't a vehicle on the road, right? There isn't a vehicle on the road. What do I think about Plug? Shout out to Jeremy Triplet. I talked about Plug a while back. I'm not really too. There's different places to go because you're looking at Plug, you're looking at Plug, you're looking at Workhorse, you're looking at NOI, you're looking at, you know what I'm saying? They all in the same thing. EV stocks. We ain't tripping on that, right? But if that's what you want to be at, it's cool. That ain't me. I'm telling y'all right now, if you gonna go EV, I'm gonna go with Tesla, right? And first we need to understand what it is. We need to understand what the value is at in that. See, what happening is we see it running up, right? We see it running up and we like, yo, I want to run up with it. And that's not what we should be doing. When we see something running up, we need to first identify, okay, what's making this run up? Why is it running up? Why is it running up? You feel me? EV, is it hype or the future? I know Tesla is the future because they have a product. It's like me saying, yo, I'm about to drop this calculator, right? You put the ticker symbol in there, and it's gonna tell you everything about the stock. But I'm just telling you I'm gonna do it. And then I made a module, right? A concept, and you see the concept, you like, yo, that's hard. And then I say I'm about to go public with it. And I'm saying, look, I'm gonna charge y'all $100 for it. And everybody give me the $100 for it, but I ain't never dropped the product yet. You just see me saying what I'm gonna, you just see a module, you see a concept, but you don't see a physical product. That's what's happening with a lot of things. We don't want to be in there. We don't want to be there. We want to see an actual product. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad stock. What I'm saying is a good stock is a good stock is a good company, right? So when they drop the product, right, and the product is good, then you can say, okay, well, this company has performed for me for 4 quarters. Because they have performed for me for 4 quarters, now I have an idea of what this business is. Now I know if it's valued or devalued or overvalued. Now I can put my money here. The problem is the reason why we try to get stocks when they're running up because we're looking for a quick flip. And the reason why I don't be having too much energy for that is because I've never looked for a quick flip. The only time I've quick flipped something is when I was in the streets. You feel me? So because I ain't looking for quick flips, now I'm looking for value. I want you to understand this. Value is what you pay. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Somebody just asked me about SRNE a long time ago. I told people, leave that stock alone. I used that stock for 2 years with inverse ETFs. Right? You know why you trying to run behind that? Biopharmaceutical stock. You chasing it quick. I ain't looking for that. I'm not looking for, so a lot of time when y'all ask me about something, it's not a value play. It's a quick flip, and I don't have no energy for that. My goal is to educate us on how to invest in the market the right way, the correct way, so we can win over the long term. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel. That's how I feel about that. So let's talk about some Bruce Sales. Salute, family. I appreciate that. You hear me? Something else I wanted to talk about too today, right? And I talked to my trappers about this before. Even when we looking at stuff long term, what the long term does is it gives us an overall goal. But we still got to learn we can take some food off the table. We're not going to give the market all the money back. You feel what I'm saying? Like we get a stock at $50 and then run up to $400, right? We're not just going to let the market go down and not take nothing. We learn how to take profits off the table. We learn how to eat off the table, keep our position, eat off the table, and do it like an all-you-can-eat buffet. We let it run up. We eat a little bit. We sit back. We let, the food digest. We take a little bit off the table. We let it run up. We take a little bit off the table. The money we take off the table, we take it off the table. And we put it right back in the game. Shout out to Charles Weatherspoon, man. Listen, family, for the $100 super chat. Family, I appreciate you so much, family. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a major blessing. I don't know how to say your name, King, so I'm gonna just call you NU, right? What are your favorite REITs that pay monthly dividends? All right, so because you gave me a super chat, I'll put that in there, but I'm gonna be real. One of my favorite REITs is O'Reilly. And since we're talking about REITs, I want to tell y'all something, trappers. I got something I want to talk to y'all today about too. One of my favorite REITs is O'Reilly. Another REIT that I did like for a while was Iron Mountain. It was a REIT. I liked it. Right? Monthly stock was was 100% into O'Reilly, man. That was my shit. But so while we talking about REITs, it's something I want to talk about with y'all, right? If you're in the REIT space, right? If you're in the REIT space, I want you to understand this. If you're investing in REITs, I want you to understand this, right? When is it okay to take profits? That's something I talked about in my group. I ain't even got time. That was a whole class I did in Trappin. When we did that class, y'all. Oh, hold up. Somebody got a question for me in my group, y'all. Hold on. So, Trapper, question. When you hold this stock and it hits this 52-week high and not moving anymore, should you sell? So, my answer to that is this. Because it hit its 52-week high, right? Because it hit its 52-week high and it's not moving anymore. So first, let's identify why it's not moving. Why isn't it moving? Is it not moving because of the industry? Is it not moving because the business is not doing something well? Like, why is the stock? So when it's not moving, that's called sideways, right? So if it's not moving, we need to first identify why it's not moving. What's going on with it? You feel what I'm saying? So we need to do that. Yeah, so we covered that 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah, so we did that 2 weeks ago in a class about when to sell a stock and when to buy the stock. Nah. G and US, I don't talk about it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I think it's propaganda. I think it's hype. I don't rock with hype. It's simple. Give me a second, y'all. If y'all like what we doing so far, man, like this, man. I apologize, y'all. Somebody say my trap is like not G and US again. Man, we tired of talking about that, man. We tired of talking about that. Well, I like Iron Mountain, but we got to understand the transition. So, we got a class tonight. So let's ask me about Iron Mountain again, and I'll tell you about the transition they're making that we need to know about. So we're talking about REITs. Because the king asked me about REITs. So I'm going to tell y'all about this about REITs. And this is important that we know this. Right? Yeah, somebody say, man, tell me what you were saying about REITs, Trap. I got y'all, man. Y'all know I got y'all, right? If you're in a REIT space, right? Excuse me, that ain't COVID, y'all. That was an almond. You hear me? That's an almond, y'all. That ain't COVID. You hear me? And I ain't laughing. I'm just saying. You cough wrong, people think you got COVID out here. You hear me? It was the almond. It was the almond. My last one. I'm just saying. I gotta let y'all know. It ain't COVID. It was the almond. It went down the wrong way. And I ain't saying nothing to nobody that. Let me say this first and foremost. I'm not joking because I know people have lost their life to this. This is a serious situation. You know, it's serious. I was just simply saying I was coughing because the almond went down the wrong way. It wasn't COVID. Y'all started laughing. I saw y'all laughing, so I started laughing. Quicken Loans IPO. I'm interested in seeing that, family. All right. So we talked about REITs. Let me get that. All right, let's talk about it. Shout out to the tribe, man. We got 281 people in, right? Right. So we'll talk about two things. I want to talk about when it comes to REITs. I'm gonna be real with y'all. If you in the REIT space, right? If you in the REIT space, I'm gonna tell you this. If your REIT has anything to do with office, buildings, or workspace, you need to be really, really, really looking at that stock. right? Facts. Right? We need to be looking at that. That's how much the Trappers Anonymous group is. It's $27 a month, family. But it's definitely some dope information in there. Again, y'all know I don't come on here to sell nothing. None of that on here. We just trapping. Somebody asked me about it. If you in the REIT space and your REIT deals with retailers, shout out to my SPG holders. I'm one of them. We've been taking a beating with SPG, right? We've been taking a butt whipping with SPG. I'm taking a butt whipping more on that than anything else. But I'm okay with that. And also, if you are in the office space, you need to just be mindful of that. How many classes for the trappers a week? I don't know. For sure they get the class. For sure we do the class on Tuesdays. We do a lot of information. The book club, y'all, starts on the 9th. Our first sit down is on the 9th. Our first live class is on the 9th. So make sure we in on that. It's on the 9th. So office space and retail, you in for a ride. And another thing I'm gonna be real with you about, if you're in an office space, right, that whole space is changing. Because when you have people like Twitter and Google who spent a lot of money on offices and they're saying, yo, you could just work from home, businesses are now saying this is the new normal. Colleges, right? One of them I want to talk about too is colleges. Mind you, let me say this. I'm not your financial advisor. You should seek a fiduciary. Everything that I'm speaking is only education and entertainment purposes only. I'm not speaking as a professional. I'm only speaking as somebody who loves the stock market and loves to entertain. You feel me? You should do your own research. None of what I say on here, if you take action on it, should come back to me. You taking your own risk. There's risk involved with everything we do. So understand the risk before you invest. If you don't know what to do or how to do it, again, seek a financial advisor or fiduciary. I need you to understand that. Back to what I was saying. Colleges will forever, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Now, and y'all can watch me. Colleges, people won't put so much into colleges now. Online education is the thing. Chegg, we talked about Chegg stock. The stock is consistently beating earnings. They gotta become profitable, but they have a bright future. They have outstanding growth. Chegg is something to look into. I'm not saying to invest in it. I am saying something to look into. I actually think it's right now currently a little overpriced. We talked about it a while back, Trappers. We talked about it maybe about a month and a half ago. We talked about it when it was around 52. I think it's over 70 now. Or was it like 42 when we talked about it? It's now pushing 70, right? So let's look at Chegg. Let's talk about that, right? Something you should look into. Also, when we looking at that, yes, Chegg killed it today. They've been killing it a lot lately, right? Another thing, when we talking about working from home, we also want to talk about not only work from home stocks, right? We also want to talk about the work from home ETF. There's a work from home ETF out called WFH, right? It's by Dexeron, right? It has Zoom, CrowdStrike, Twilio, Facebook, Microsoft, IBM, some more in there, right? Work from home. But let's think about this too. Yes, WCLD is a dope. We talked about that in here earlier. I like WCL too, the technology ETF. Yes, I like it too. I like it. I like it. I like it. Trapper. I like that. Yeah, you on it. You on it. DocuSign is up 164%. Think about it. Think about it. DocuSign, WCH, WFH, yes, and WCLD, 100%. DocuSign is up 164%. We talked about that about 5 weeks ago. It's up 164% year to date, right? With this DocuSign, you sign shit online. You sign stuff online. You feel what I'm saying? We need to understand what is the culture and the climate of where we at right now. This is why I told you all before, earlier in tonight's episode. What did I say? Now is the time for us not to just be sitting on dinosaurs, right? We shouldn't have, I'm going to be real with you, we should not have a portfolio right now full of blue chip stocks. I talked about Adobe. I love Adobe. We should not have a portfolio full of blue chip stocks. Should we have one or two? 100%. But we should have a portfolio, especially if you new, your portfolio should be growth, gangsters, and some OGs. Shout out to Brooke Genius. Salute you, fam. Howie Thomas. Salute to two fam. Salute y'all, family, for the super chat, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all for that, man. Y'all already know, man. I come on here just to get value, man. I love y'all. I appreciate that for real, for real. Again, man, let's send this out, man. Let's send this out to some people. Let's tap in. I wanted to talk about that as well. When it comes to payment, we should be looking at Square. We should be looking at Square and PayPal are actually just great buys, right? I like them. Great buys. Square and PayPal, fintech, financial tech is definitely killing it right now. So we should be in that. We talked about that when Square was at around $88. We talked about that, right? This is what we need to understand where the growth at. We need to see it. We need to be a part of it. We don't have to chase. We don't have to chase. Amazon just cracked 3,000. I've been in it since 1363. I got in at 19. I averaged all the way down to 13 in 2018, and that sucker been riding since then. Got my daughter in at 19. You feel me? We cracked 3,000. We good. We here. We ain't chasing that no more. You feel me? We not chasing that. Right? We need to understand that. What the trap is talking about. Right? One of the plays that happened, right? So I'm going to tell you about a play that happened that we need to be on, right? Apple decided to come up with its own, say they're going to come up with their own chips, so they got off of Intel, right? But the stock didn't sink. Why? Because Intel has strong fundamentals. Remember what I talked to y'all, strong financials, strong fundamentals. It's not going to blow you out of the water. It's a good dividend play, around 4%, has a great dividend, and will continue to grow. Why? Because it's into the software and chip space. It's another great space for us to be in. Software, chip, right? Software, chips, right? These are great places for us to be in. Somebody mentioned it earlier. So I'm going to tell y'all this. Another thing, a great thing that happened, right? Another great thing that happened was today, Microsoft was able to seize the domain of the people who tried to cybersecurity attack them. Right? So like, why are you talking about that? Because we talked about cybersecurity weeks ago when it was at $50. We talked about getting into CrowdStrike. Love NVIDIA. We talked about CrowdStrike. Right? Why? CrowdStrike, cybersecurity, data centers. These are places we need to be at. Yes, baby. Huh? What you doing? I'm hosting a class, beautiful. You want a hug? Yeah. Come here. What you talking about? I always get that. What you talking about? Oh, you know that. They ain't tight enough. Ooh, that's it. Ooh, that's it. All right. Yeah, I'm done. All right. Yeah, I'm almost done, Stan. So, right? We should understand that. Travis, y'all knew she was coming. Y'all know that. Y'all know she was coming. Y'all should be used to that by now. You heard me? So, yeah, she always do it. Listen, she always do it. That's her thing. When I be gone too long, she need to let me know that you need to like handle your business because I need me. You hear me? So, also with cybersecurity, if you don't really know where to get in at with cybersecurity, you can get into there's two cybersecurity ETFs, Hack and Cyber, CIB and HACK. I think CIBR, right? We need to be there. We need to be there. Okada, 100%. I agree with that 100%. 100%. Is we trapping or is we trapping? Let me know if we trapping. Y'all rocking with me or what? Right? Hit the like button. Tap me in. You already know. What we doing? What we doing? Share this. We need y'all to share this so we can get that out. You feel me? That's what we need to be at. I'm about to give y'all another gem that we need to be on. Sincere Hogan, shout out for the super chat, man. I appreciate you, family, for real, for real. You hear me? Yes, I do options. I just don't teach it yet because I haven't mastered it. So I'm the type of person that if I don't have something mastered, I'm not just going to teach it just to teach it, right? I won't be able to master it so I can answer 95% of every question that come my way. Also, so I can teach it in a way that everybody can understand it. For me, I'm not just about pushing information, right? I want to talk to y'all about when I don't, and that's the great thing about where I'm at right now. Like I understand this so well. You know what I'm saying? It's great. Khalib, did I say it right? Crib, giving legacy information. Thank you for sure, family. That's what we here for. That's what we here for, family. I just appreciate everybody for super chats, man. I'm sending energy, blessings, abundance your way, man. For real, for real. We a team, we a family, we a unit. You know what I'm saying? We move as a unit. So I just appreciate y'all. Ryan Sealy, appreciate the super chat, family. Cosmopolitan, I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you for the knowledge, man. I appreciate all y'all more than y'all know, man. For sure, for sure. I really do. So let's talk about something else, right? How many stocks on my watch list? Travelers, they asked me how many stocks on my watch list. Somebody want to say in the group how many stocks on my watch list? If y'all remember me saying it before. CIBR, for sure, I thought I said it to him. Somebody in the Travelers Anonymous group, somebody asked me how many stocks on my watch list. Have I told y'all how many stocks on my watch list before? I'm going to see if somebody going to say it. Yep, 200 plus, 100%, 230. Yeah, I got over 200 something companies on my watch list. Easy. Because what your watch list is, it's just companies you like. It's companies you interested in. It's companies you did research in. It's companies that you put a price target on. Will you invest in them all? Probably not. But it's good to have them there. It's just like having ideas. One of the things I do with me all the time, I always got a notebook with me. You know why? So I can write on my ideas. Because what we need to know, and it's a little bit of off of stocks a little bit. See this thing right here? Your brain, right? It has what is called intellectual property, right? Your brain, if y'all like me, shoots out 100 ideas at ease on a day. You're not going to do all of them. Yeah.
Have you seen my laptop?
Your laptop? No. What did you do when you finished with your tutor?
Teacher?
Yes.
I just put it on the table.
Well, that's where it may be at, my love.
No, it's gone.
Ask your mama.
She's not here.
Okay, well, I'll look for it when I finish this, okay? So what we need to do is, those ideas that we have, it's great for us to write those ideas down. I do the same thing with my stocks. I write them down. If I'm doing something, I write it down. I'm like, oh, all right, let me write this down. So we need to be able to do that. Write them down. Write them down. What's the best short-term stock? I have no idea. None whatsoever. Because if I don't feel like a stock has longevity, I don't want no part of it. So definitely want to, put that out there. So another thing we're going to talk about, how many I have in my portfolio. So I got like 3 different portfolios. So don't make me lie to you. So One of the things I want to talk about too today, we're going to, you know, before I finish talking to my people, is Amazon, Walmart, Amazon. Walmart just dropped what's called Walmart Plus. It's a $98 subscription a month. You'll get access to same-day food delivery. You'll get access to new products and discounts when they come out. And I think they had early access to something else, right? It's going to try to compete with Amazon. Now, we know that Amazon is just, you know, killing it in that area. What do you think about China telling citizens, man? China do a lot of off the wall stuff, man. So I don't even know, man. Caught you on EYL podcast all the way from Quito while the military dude needs to say I will be purchasing the course tonight. Thank you, family. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. For y'all who missed it, man, the course is in the link on my YouTube for $200 off, man. I'm just putting that out there because I see people talking about it. So definitely want to talk about that tonight, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Damn, I ain't even heard about that though idea though. Yeah, yeah. So Wally World, you got me about to say Wally World. Walmart will be in direct competition with Amazon on that. Yeah, somebody say, yeah, I called the birthday special for sure. Appreciate that, Zay. Appreciate you, family. Appreciate your energy tonight, family. So definitely tap into that. Also, Walmart and Amazon will be there. I think Walmart has a lot of growth because they're going to consistently grow. They got a whole lot of money. Everything in Walmart is off of credit, so they don't really got debt like that. Definitely a great business to be a part of, especially because they're fighting for that spot. And so they got enough paper. Obviously, Amazon is a bigger business, but Walmart is right there. But we do want to understand this, and I'm going to tell y'all this too. Places, United Airlines, right? I want y'all to understand this too. I'm glad it jumped in my head. The airline industry, right? I told y'all where we could look at. We talked about Alaska. United Airlines just came out today saying that they're laying people off. It wasn't enough voluntary layoffs. So now they're going to have to come lay some people off. Remember, if they cutting people down, that means, you know, the ship is sinking. So we need to be a part of that. I told people about Alaska Airlines. I told you a long time ago. Why? Because it was one of the only businesses in the airline industry that could have went 19 months without any revenue and still survived. Zero net debt, right? Southwest is another one that's positioned well, right? So just be cautious. And I'm going to be real with y'all. The reason why I didn't run for cruise lines, was because I understood. And see, this is about us understanding every dynamic. And this is why we need to be focused when we invest in understanding all key components. Can a husband and wife use the course together or they buy it separately? Man, listen, yes, you can. Yes, you can. 100% you can, family. So we need to understand all the components of a business before we just ride a wave. That's why we talk about Erica G. Appreciate you, family. Are you familiar with Momo trading app? I heard about it, but I'm not too familiar with it. I heard about it, Queen, but I'm not too familiar with it. But thank you, Queen. I appreciate you, too. We need to understand different components and dynamics of businesses before we invest in them, yo. Right? We need to understand it. So the reason why I really didn't jump into the cruise ships, because I had to ask myself this question. One, a lot of them are in a lot of debt, right? Two, shout out to Black Cleaner. What REITs you like, and is Bora Bora drilling a buy? I'm not really into the drilling right now. I don't like that. I don't like drilling. I don't see sustainability there like that. I know we gonna always drill because America love to drill for stuff and look for stuff. I don't know, but we talked about REITs already, fam. What I was saying? Shucks. Oh, we need to understand different components when we invest in that goes into investing in a stock. So one of the things we need to look at too, All right, I got y'all. I got y'all. So one of the things we need to understand too is this, and I'm gonna go on this, man. When we invest in the stock, when we looking at all the good, we also need to look at the backside. We need to look at what can go bad. And this is one of the things I tell trappers about all the time. What is the inverse? What is the inverse? What is the bad part about this? They just had a big deal about pipelines, but I don't about it on TV today, and I don't remember it, so I ain't gonna talk about it. But I already was looking at about pipelines, but it's not a business that I'm into because I don't see a lot of profit over there. You know what I'm saying? But we need to know the fundamentals, the backsides, what could go wrong, right? And when I looked at the cruise line, I saw a lot of debt, and I saw that while people do need to hop in planes, while people do need, to shop online, people do not need to take cruises. People do not need to take cruises. And then you gotta ask yourself this: when the economy does come back, when people get safe, do they actually feel like they want to be on a cruise? You feel what I'm saying? So now with the wave that's going on now, think about it. Gyms closing again in Miami, restaurants closing back down again. You gotta ask yourself, do I really want to go on a cruise? Do people really want to go on a cruise? Even when they not even gonna be able to come. They done shut them down for another 6 months. They can't come back till like October or something. So now they trying to get some medical people in and say that it's okay. But ask yourself, if you get on a cruise right now and you go way in the middle of the ocean and somebody on a cruise ship got COVID, right? You stuck out there. You stuck out there. So I'm one to tell people, man, even though it's a long play, if you in the cruise industry, I think you should I think you can find better deals out there than cruise ships. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you. You do what you want to do. I ain't telling you what to do. But I think you can find a better play than cruise ships. So with that, man, I want to tell y'all I appreciate everybody. I'm gone. I appreciate y'all this week, man. Do me a favor, man. Next week, Trappin' Tuesdays, we back in action. We going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Again, I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. Share this. If y'all follow me on the gram, check me out on the gram. The links are below. Once I post this, you'll see the links to get in there. So I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm out. You hear me?